Good morning. This is the public hearing of January 20th, 2015 of the Landmarks Preservation Commission. Chair Srinivasan.
Here.
Commissioner Shamir Barron.
Here.
Commissioner Bland.
Here.
Commissioner Chapin.
Here.
Commissioner Devonshire.
Here.
Commissioner Goldblum.
Here.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Here.
Commissioner Moore. Commissioner Washington.
Okay, Commissioners, the first item is an application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of Queens. It's 111 Ridge Road, aka 234-33 Ridge Road in the Douglaston Historic District. It's Block 8045, Lot 55, a colonial revival style freestanding house designed by Josephine Wright Chapman and built in 1909. The application is to replace entrance, infill, and windows, modify window openings, and install vents.
Good morning, Commissioners. Emma Waterloo, Preservation Staff. The item before you is for 111 Ridge Road in the Douglaston Historic District. The building is located on the north side of the street between West and Center Drives. The proposal is for exterior alterations at multiple facades. For your reference, this is the 1940s tax photograph. The proposed alterations consist of replacing fixed storm windows at the porch with operable casement windows, replacing the primary entrance door at the Ridge Road facade, shifting the placement of windows at the east facade, and enlarging window openings and installing vents at the west facade. The project architect, Kevin Wolff, is here to further describe the proposal and answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Kevin Wolff, the architect for 111 Ridge Road. As Emma was telling you, the part of the project today is window replacement, in particular the main facade. Our porch windows that are fixed, the room is unusable as a result of that, so we are proposing to replace them with casement windows. This is the 1980 tax photo. Most of the windows in the house have been replaced by a previous owner, and most of the replacement windows are all wood, double hung. On the second floor, there are banks of casement windows on the first floor on the driveway side. This is the porch over here. This is the porch. These are the fixed storm windows that we're talking about. And the other part we're going to talk about is replacing this door. This door was added, we believe, in the 1950s with the side lights. It was originally an open vestibule with the original door set back about 5 feet. And the original door was 3.5 feet wide by 7 feet tall. This door is 30 inches wide by 6'8" with the side lights, which is how they got the side lights in there. This is another view of that. So the porch windows, again, are these, and there are porch windows on the side as well that I'll show you. Here's the door. So what happened is originally this was open here, and you stepped into a vestibule that also led into the porch. The porch was open with screens that were brought in for the summer and the storms for the winter. So this is the new door, which what we tried to do with this was to get back some of the transparency of the original scheme with the opening, as well as replicate the size of the original door, which is 3.5 feet by 7 feet. So the new door is 3.5 by 7. On the driveway side, the east side, previous owner replaced the original wood casements with aluminum clad windows with removable divided lights. So we're proposing to replace that with all wood casements that match the detail of the original house. Some of the original casements on the first floor have survived and they've been restored. This is a view from the street. Another change we're making is this window on the second floor will get moved 2 feet. This facade is currently asymmetrical. These windows are not equally spaced from here to here. So we're taking down a wall on the second floor to make 2 bedrooms into one, and the window is being moved to accommodate that. So that's this window, and that's the view you get from the street. This is the detail of the aluminum casement, which you can see are in tough shape, and we don't want them anyhow. And then the other change, so that's this bank of windows here. This is the second floor window I just showed you in the photograph. This is the east facade. On the west elevation, we have a couple of changes. This is the rest of the porch windows. This is the best visibility I can get for you because the way the lots are arranged, and this is the view from the street. There are, in the back wing of the house, which is back here, there'll be two new vents for a hood, which are somewhat visible, I guess, from here, if you think you can see them, but they'll be painted out white to match the clapboard. And this hedge, the hedge that is back here will be filled in the spring, so there should be no visibility of those vents. And then the other change, which I can't show you because of the trees, is there's an attic window on the third floor I can show you on the drawing. It's very low to the floor, so we're raising that window. It's a double window, and we're replacing that with a slightly larger window. There is a finished attic. There's a study that will be up there, and it has views of the bay, which is a few houses away, and that will help us see that. This is the west elevation. This is a kitchen window that we're replacing and making larger. This is the only, other than the attic, it's the only window that's being enlarged. This is an original casement window, and this is what our model is for the new windows. So this is the west elevation. These are the two porch windows, which are also fixed currently, like the ones you saw in the front. This is a dining room window, which is the same Anderson aluminum clads that I showed you some details of. Those will be replaced with all wood casements matching the details of the existing. And this is the new larger kitchen window. And these are the two vents for the hood for the kitchen.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
It looks both from the historic photo and from the ones that you point out as the old ones, that the proportions of the grills are different in the old and the new. Can you help us understand why you're making that decision?
The grills, I'm not sure I'm following.
Well, I'm looking at your 1940 tax photo, right, which shows 3 panes across in the main double hung windows, and I thought I saw in the elevation it was 2.
Which facade are you looking at?
I guess I'm looking at that one.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was looking at that one, but I think the photo shows the opposite side. Are they 3 across?
This is the aluminum window that exists now.
Right.
And that's what will replace the sills, the muntins, and all of the aluminum work will be replaced with wood at the sizes of the existing wood casements. That's the goal.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So the last change is just not visible from the street, but at the rear elevation of the house, the north elevation. The house has a little family room that was added in the 50s. It has a wood-burning stove, very upstate New York. And this aluminum chimney will get removed, and the room will get real heat. So that's going away. And that's shown here, so you can just see it's a removal and a repair of the roof, and that's it.
Thank you, Kevin. Are there questions for the applicant? Any questions? Right, we'll take testimony. Are there speakers on this item? Any speakers? There are no speakers. We received a resolution from Community Board 11, and the committee reviewed the plans with the architect. And the committee has no objections to the plans presented and felt that the alterations will improve the landmark status of the building. So they're in support. If there are no other questions for the applicant, we can close the hearing then. All right, comments, concerns? Seems, yes, Diana.
Well, I was just going to say, I think it's a fine proposal. I think the replacement with the wood is obviously desirable, that windows in general obviously are not operable and need to be, made operable for good functioning, and I don't think the appearance is going to be much affected. And I also think that I hesitated about the door and the transparency, but I think that the explanation with regard to how it functioned originally with the porch and at the recess, that I'm comfortable with the door too, the configuration of the new door with regard to the fenestration on it.
I completely agree. Are there any concerns? No, I think that the proposal is very in keeping with the historic character, and in fact, it brings back wood to the windows, which is, I think, an improvement. If there are no other concerns, we can then. Any other comments? Okay. Diana, do you want to read the resolution?
Sure, thank you. In the matter of a certificate of appropriateness, Borough of Queens, 16-2102, 111 Ridge Road, a.k.a. 234-33 Ridge Road, Douglaston Historic District. Application is to replace entrance infill and windows, modify window openings, and install vents. I recommend approval, finding that the existing the porch windows and doors were originally installed as temporary seasonal elements, which were not integral to the fenestration pattern of the building. Therefore, the replacement with new windows and doors with different configurations from the existing will not eliminate a significant architectural feature or compositional element. That the proposed porch windows will be consistent with porch infill historically added to porches of buildings of this type, style, and age over time, and harmonious with the design of this building in terms of materials, details, configuration, and level of transparency. That the proposed door, located within an existing recessed entryway, is in keeping with historic entrances at buildings of this type, style, and age in terms of basic design, placement, and materials. That the relocation of the window at the second floor of the east facade and enlarging existing openings at the west facade will be compatible with the composition of the facades and consistent with the organization of such features typically found at colonial revival houses of this age. That the proposed windows and doors will be in keeping with historic windows and doors at the house in terms of materials, details, proportions, and finish, and that the proposed vents will be small in scale, simple in design, and finished to blend with the surrounding cladding, thereby helping them to maintain a discrete presence at this facade from public thoroughfares.
All in favor? Any opposed? This application's been approved.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the Commissioner